Is it hard for you to unplug? That's exactly what we're talking about today in Mindful Manifesting. You're listening to Ariana Rollins. But before we dive into the show, if you would like to kickstart getting things done, accomplishing, you're manifesting, go to Mindful Achiever for your free workbook and guided meditation. So, this show is dedicated to one of my business besties, Tiffany. We were having a conversation. She's asking me, what time are you taking off around the holidays? We have Thanksgiving in the United States next week, and then we have Christmas and New Year's. And I just kind of looked at her like with a blank stare. Nothing planned. And I could feel like my heart go, like it went into like, oh, you can't take time off. You can't rest. You can't unplug. And I was like, where is that program coming from? And I realized as she was asking me this, that because my body reacted so strongly, it was extremely important that I truly unplug. And it doesn't mean I have to go anywhere, but then I've already thought of plans that I would love to do a little road trip with my son to a fantastic hotel in Austin that we've stayed at a couple times at Christmas. It's so gorgeous, so beautifully decorated. The food is off the charts amazing. And so I could feel my shoulders drop, and I'm like, oh, you seriously need to make this a high priority. So where does this come from? Because it sounds like I'm really driven, and I can be, but I thought it would be easier for me to unplug than it was. And I know my friend takes off a whole month around the holidays. And I remember when she told me that, I was like, what? What are you going to do? So I think if you're an entrepreneur, part of being an entrepreneur, you're passionate about your work. So it doesn't feel like, quotes, air quotes, work. You're doing something that's fulfilling. You're doing something you enjoy. Same with me. And so the thought of unplugging is like, well, what would I do? Oh, what would I do? And if you have that similar reaction to how I responded to my friend's question, I invite you to explore it a little deeper. Because if you're listening to this from the United States, we have such a fast-paced, productivity-driven culture. We pride ourselves at the end of the day how much we got done. Not the impact that we had on lives, not the state of presence and beingness, but how much did we tick off our to-do list? If you're like that, I think you're going to really get a lot out of this episode. I know for myself, when I make to-do lists, it feels so satisfying. Tick, 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 tick. And then I'll look back at the end of the day when I put my head on the pillow. That was a good day. I felt productive. And I think I'm being invited to explore productivity differently. Because we all have goals, intentions, objectives. And for some of us, we feel we have a deeper purpose. We feel I don't know, the word mission sounds a little bit heavy. I don't mean that. It's that we want to contribute. We want to live a life of meaning. We want to leave the world a little better place than we came. And my goodness, my friends, we need it. We need people just like you wanting to leave the world a little better place. I remember one of my best friends who's no longer in body, he was in the Boy Scouts for many years. And he said one of the principles was you left the campsite better than you found it. And he carried that through his life. So if someone was having a little bit of a bumpy day, he would do what he could to uplift them. He would leave the situation better than he went into it. And I think that's a beautiful way to flow through the world. Can you imagine what the world would be like if more of us had that view? Wow. We'd be uplifting each other. We'd be patient. We'd be compassionate. We'd be understanding. We'd be a little more human instead of human machines. We'd be focused on our being. So let's talk about how to start to unplug. Now, I will tell you, there's actually a dopamine brain hormone hit when we plan, which is why we love to plan. Maybe we don't love the execution of it, but we love to plan. It feels good. And I believe this is the reason why, is we tap into possibilities. We feel unlimited because we're just planning, right? We're kind of photoshopping the next year of our life. And in that planning, it feels good because a part of us says, well, if I write it down, I know my energy is going there and it's already accomplished. And there's actually truth to that. It's truth to that. So if we write this down and we feel uplifted, we feel inspired, we feel like satisfied, we did it, we accomplished it, yay, and we really feel into it. And maybe we even create a future vision. And I'm going to invite you to a wonderful event. I will get back to unplugging in just a moment, but I just thought this would be awesome to share this with you. For the past, I would say 15 years on New Year's Day, I have done an event, New Year's No Limits. And it's a wonderful hour and a half where we release the hold of the current year, 2025. We gather the learnings, the lessons, the growth, and then we celebrate all that we learned and we accomplished. And then we go through and we make some space because there are some things we intended we didn't do. We didn't complete in 2025. And it's really important to capture those things because once you give a command, a request to your body, that's what I want to accomplish, those energies, think of your body as a storehouse of your unconscious mind, those energies are tied up. They are waiting to be utilized on that project or on that intention. You can't use it yet. You can't use it for anything else unless, I know it sounds weird, but bear with me here. I have learned this and witnessed this so many times. The freedom that comes from letting go of things that we intended, that we changed our course. It was no longer relevant. Other things took priority. And we actually make space and we can breathe. Because we're trying to now force our intentions and our objectives into, what we want out of 2026. And we've got a full plate and brimming. The full plate is just about ready to crack from all that it's carrying. So we have to make space. So if this sounds good to you, I'm not sure if I will put the link right now. We don't have all the signups yet for January 1st, but I will share it with you. I know how you can keep plugged in. Go to mindfulachiever.com and sign up for that guided meditation worksheet, Kickstart Your Manifesting Journey, and you will get on my newsletter. And then you will be the first to know and the first to get a discount. It's very inexpensive to go to it. First discount, you might even be part of the free version. So get on my newsletter. That's the way to do it. Perfect. Okay, so unplugging. Now let's talk about unplugging. You might have things you already do, routines in your day that help you unplug. Perhaps it's meditating. Maybe you meditate in the morning to prepare you for the day. Maybe you found that meditating at the end of your workday or right before bed helps you unplug. Or maybe you take your dog for a long walk, or you exercise to unplug. You burn off the stress of the day. Or, like a lot of us do, is when we finish the workday, we watch a movie to unplug. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of those. There's nothing super right with any of those. But I'd like you to check in. After you do the activity, how do you feel? Do you feel uplifted after working out, energized, or do you feel depleted? Well, if you feel depleted, that's not so efficient and effective for unplugging. Do you feel energized after watching a movie? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I get so many insights and lessons and feel just so fulfilled. It's like, oh, that was good. That was satisfying. Sometimes not. Sometimes I'm drained. Some people, I thought of another one too that some people do is they take a long shower at the end of their workday. For me, every time I take a shower, I'm in such gratitude because it washes away the day. It washes away the energy, the stuff that I've accumulated, either from my own frustrations or from working with clients and they're in frustration or stress. And being an empath, I take that on and I try to uplift. Well, taking a shower just gives me a fresh start. I remember doing that right at the end of my workday, and that gave me time for me to be with family in the evening. I was able to wash off the day and be fully present with them. Now that I live alone, I got out of that habit, but that might be a nice one to bring back. So consider to yourself how you unplug. And then reflect when you do that activity, do you feel energized? If you don't feel energized, it might just simply be a routine and a habit, and previously it helped you unplug, but you might need to mix some things up so that you get that little break from doing. You might be someone who, I've talked about this before, the phrase like doingness, being addicted to doingness. And that could be as a result of being recognized as a child or in your work, in your job, in your business. When you do, you get a positive feedback. Maybe someone even used to say that to you. Gosh, you're so efficient. Gosh, you're so effective. Oh, you're so productive. And that feels good to be recognized. And that becomes a pattern and a habit, and we get hooked on it. But what about being? What if we were hooked on beingness? Do you even know what that would feel like? Kind of hard to even imagine, isn't it? Well, we were talking about, I think it was a couple episodes away, about energetically clearing your space. And I'm writing in my current book, the one I'm working on now, finishing, I'm going to be putting in a bonus resource on how to prepare your sleeping space, whether it's your bedroom or hotel, to get a really deeply healing night's sleep and to push out the energies of other people, which happens in hotel rooms. So that reset, that's a way that you can unplug. We all have to sleep. Animals sleep. I don't know about trees, but humans sleep. We have to. And that we get that fresh start to the day. So can we be more conscious around that unplugging? Can we tune in to how something's feeling in the moment? And can we stop? That's a level of mastery. If we could stop. If the movie we're watching doesn't make us feel good, stop. Find another one. If going to the gym is exhausting you, stop. Go do something else. Maybe it's yoga. So becoming self-aware and observing your state, your emotional, physical, and mental state can really help you unplug. And unplugging is going to serve you in so many ways. You'll be able to be more present with loved ones, friends, family. You'll be able to be more present when you take your dog for a walk. You'll be more present with your clients. And that presence can be felt. It surprises me when people meet me. Sometimes people can feel it on a Zoom call or on the phone, and they say, "You've got such a calming presence." In me, my head's thinking about all these things and what I'm doing, but I guess for the masses, my presence can be calming. And I am always grateful when someone notices it and takes time, because to me it says they value it. And that's what we're talking about, beingness. Having that presence of mind, that calmness, that self-awareness to be what you need to be in the moment. And sometimes that means unplugged. This was a good episode, short but sweet, and I invite you to look at your holiday calendar. Next week is Thanksgiving in the United States, and I'm taking Thursday and Friday off. In fact, I'm going away next week, but guess what? I still booked client calls. So getting into a routine and habit where instead of we get hooked on the doingness, what can we do to switch it to beingness? I think sometimes we have to actually stop. And then from that stillness, from that calm, still lake, we then know what we want to do. Because if we're in that hurry-scurry and the water's all chummed up, well, we can't see. We don't have the clarity. And we need to be able to see to create future visions of where we want to be. And not only what we want to accomplish, but how do we want to feel? What's it going to be like when we get there? Because doesn't it feel like the goalpost is always moving, being a human? It's like the carrot on the stick is right in front of us, and what's happening? The carrot keeps moving. I got to make more money. I got to do more. What if, just for now, we decide to just be for a short time? I think we might get addicted to that too. And then if we're using techniques like I teach in the Highest Potential program and I share with you on mindful manifesting, is you'll be able to accomplish those objectives without that pressure, without that forcing, because you're coming from a place of beingness, a higher vibration. I like this one. All right. Hope you got something out of it. And I'd be so grateful if you'd just give a quick review wherever you are listening to the episode. It really helps other people find the podcast. And as we sign off, remember, as you confirm yourself, you chart your own path to success, your timing, your speed, and what it is. So much love. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.